Hello there, a very good evening to you as we bring you full match commentary of Chelsea versus Manchester City from Stamford Bridge. I hope you're very much welcome. I should also explain at this point that the comment section or the live chat has been disabled. I explained in the promo that it's not feasible for me at the moment. There has been a lot of nasty comments said on previous commentaries, and of course it's a big game. I want to give it its full attention tonight, so let me try and do that tonight. Before we concentrate on the main event, it's the biggest match of the weekend by none. Let me go through all the other scores from the Premier League and the Championship League 1 and 2 and the Scottish League. So let's start with the Premier League. So let's start with the full classifiers. Starting with the Premier League: Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 4, Bournemouth 0, Leicester City 0, Manchester United 4, Crystal Palace 0, Stoke 2, Southampton 1, West Bromwich Albion 2, Watford 2, West Brom 1, Swansea City 0, and of course our match to come between Chelsea and Man City. And that will be kicking off in just under 10 minutes from now. And we go into the Championship. Starting with Aston Villa 1, Bolton 0, Burton Albion 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4, Cardiff 0, Derby 0, Hull 6, Birmingham City 1, Ipswich 1, Bristol City 3, Middlesbrough 2, Brentford 2, Millwall 1, Barnsley 3, Nottingham Forest 2, Sheffield United 1, and Preston 2, Sunderland 2, and Reading and Norwich is again half past by kick-off. We'll be updating you with the score from that one during the evening. Sky Bet League 1 now. Wimbledon 0, Rochdale 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, Gillingham 0, unfortunately. Bradford 2, Doncaster 0, Bristol Rovers 2, Plymouth Argyle 1, Bury 0, MK Dons 2, Fleetwood 1, Charlton 3, Peterborough 1, Oxford 4, Portsmouth 1, Oldham 2, Rotherham 1, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 2, Scunthorpe 0, Southend 2, Blackpool 1, and Wigan 2, Walsall 0. We're going to League 2, and we start with Grimsby 0, Lincoln 0, Mansfield 3, Notts County 1, Chesterfield 0, Cheltenham Town 2, Coventry 1, Crewe 0, Crawley 0, Carlisle 1, Exeter 4, Morecambe 1, Forest Green 0, Accrington Stanley 1, Luton 3, Newport 1, Stevenage 2, Port Vale 0, Swindon 2, Cambridge 0, Wycombe 3, Barnet 1, and Yeovil 0, Colchester 1. We're now going to go into the National League, or we will in a second. Let's get everything up there now quickly. Here we are, National League then. And so here we are, starting with Gateshead 1, Boreham Wood 1, Barrow 0, Maidstone 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Torquay United 0, Dover 1, Solihull Moors 0. Eastleigh versus Colchester, that's been postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Ebbsfleet 2, Halifax 0. Excuse me. Bromley 0, Tranmere Rovers 1, Leyton Orient 2, Leyton Orient 1 filed 2. Macclesfield 2, Aldershot 0, Maidenhead 3, Guiseley 0, Woking 1, Hartlepool 1, and Wrexham 1, Sutton United 1. Okay, we're now going to go into Scotland now and into the Premier League. In just a second, the Scottish Premiership I should say. Let's get the scores up. Here we go. Scottish Premier League then: Aberdeen 3, St Johnstone 1, Celtic 2, Hibernian 2, Dundee 2, Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 2, and Motherwell 3, Partick Thistle 0. And we're now into the Scottish Championship. Dunfermline 1, Dundee United 3. Inverness Caledonia Thistle 0, Queen of the South 0. Livingston 2, Dumbarton 1. Morton 0, Falkirk 1. And St Mirren 2, Brechin City 1. Scottish League 1 now. Airdrie 4, Queen's Park 2. Albion 2, Raith Rovers 1. Arbroath 1, Alloa 1. Ayr United 3, East Fife 0. And Forfar 1, Stranraer 1. And finally Scottish League 2. Annan Athletic 1, Cowdenbeath 0. Montrose 3, Clyde 2. Peterhead 0, Berwick Rangers 2. Stenhousemuir 3, Edinburgh 0. And finally Stirling Albion 2, Elgin City 2. And that brings you up to date with all the classified football results. Manchester United have gone top with their win at the moment, so that's been sorted out then. So let's go to the main event of the evening. 3 minutes 21 to kick off. They are out at Stamford Bridge for the main event of the evening. This game between Chelsea and Manchester City. As the teams make their way out on the far side of the pitch, we just about got the classifieds in. Remember, we'll have updates of what's happening between Reading and in the Reading match at 5:30. But here we are live from Stamford Bridge. So let's give you the two lineups for this game. Big game as the two teams shake hands here then. A game that I can hardly wait for, I have to say. 2 minutes and 27 seconds to kick off here. It's been a remarkable game. It's been remarkable in the build-up that no Sergio Aguero, he didn't travel. He got injured in a car crash in Amsterdam, so he will not be taking part. But Eden Hazard will make his first start of the season. We will bring you the two lineups, but we are about 2 minutes away from kick-off or something like that. And the atmosphere around Stamford Bridge is unbelievably electric. And big game of the weekend. Remember, Spurs put forward. Manchester United put 4 past sorry Crystal Palace. Stoke have won. West Brom have won, West Ham have won as well. Big 3 points that for Slaven Bilic's men. But at the moment it's all about Chelsea and Manchester City, two teams. Pep Guardiola and Antonio Conte. I'm sure no love lost between them, but it's a marvellous occasion this for a game that really should have all the old marks of being a fantastic match. And we await the kick-off. We're about a minute or two away. Let's give you the two lineups very quickly. Courtois in goal, then it's Ruggier, Christensen, KO and Azpilicueta, Kante, Bakayoko, Fabregas, Alonso and Hazard with Morata up front. Substitutes Caballero, Pedro, Moses, Kennedy, Zabacosta, Willian and Michy Batshuayi, who got the winning goal on Wednesday night against Atletico Madrid. For Manchester City, it's Ederson in goal, then it's Walker, Stones, Otamendi, Delph, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Silva and Sané, with Gabriel Jesus up front with Raheem Sterling on one of the flanks. As we look at Eden Hazard, fantastic where Gabriel Jesus will leave the line up front here as we prepare to get underway. We'll give you the Manchester City bench just very quickly. The substitutes: Claudio Bravo, Daniel Ilkay Gundogan, formerly of Borussia Dortmund, Mangala, Bernardo Silva, Zizenko and Yaya Toure. The referee from West Yorkshire is Martin Atkinson. We've just seen a fantastic view from a drone above Stamford Bridge, the King's Road. The other two teams in that part of the world, Fulham and QPR, faced off at Loftus Road last night. Tonight it's the turn of two potential title rivals. City in the reddish, the sort of light red shirts. Chelsea, of course, need I tell you, in blue. Manchester City get us underway. They're going to attack the Matthew Harding stand to my right hand side. Chelsea attacking the shed to the left. Important game this for both sides as they look to make away. Manchester City have played some scintillating football, but this really is a big test without the likes of Sergio Aguero, of course, injured in that crash 2 nights ago when he went to Amsterdam to watch a musical concert. But this will be a real test. As I say, Martin Atkinson is the referee from West Yorkshire, and we'll keep you up to date with what happens elsewhere as well in the Championship game at the Madejski Stadium as well. So lots to catch up on here. Manchester United top as things stand. A win for City would take them probably back to the top. But, well, it's Norwich against Reading, of course, so we'll keep you across that one as we get any scores from that game. So, Norwich and Reading, that's at the Madejski Stadium, and that's kicking off as we speak. So, as I say, any goals that go in that game will bring you live here on the YouTube channel. So, remember, Reading against Norwich, that's kicked off at just around the same time as this game in the Championship. And tonight, our main commentary match as Manchester City and Chelsea face off. It's a free kick to Chelsea in the side of the City. I've taken quickly by Fabregas towards Morata inside the penalty area. Otamendi and Stones just got it away between them as he was breaking towards Edison's goal there. Morata with a hat-trick, of course, last week against Stoke City, and scored one in a couple of minutes in that game as well, you may remember. And he almost got off to a perfect start. A quickly taken free kick on the left-hand side. Fabregas played it into the penalty area, and Morata just couldn't dig it out from under his feet. That would have been some start to the game, that. And of course, this isn't the this isn't the only commentary game we're bringing you tomorrow, because at 2:15 kick-off, 2 o'clock start, the Clarets Match Live will be back with Burnley away at Everton. So we'll be up at Goodison Park tomorrow afternoon for that one. And Chelsea now come down that far side, and Kante makes a break down the right hand side. Kante's ball towards Morata, and Morata's header just wide of the far post. And Chelsea here meaning business right at the start with 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the game gone. N'Golo Kante there breaking, busting a gut down that right hand side, keeping onside. Morata just about got onside and got a good purchase on the header, but couldn't direct it past the goalkeeper Edison, and wide of the target it went. And now Sterling has it in the other end for Manchester City, and he goes down, and that's a free kick given against Bakayoko by Martin Atkinson of West Yorkshire. And now we have a rip-roaring start to the game. I don't think this game's safely to say, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm not wrong here. I hope it's not going to end goalless. Thibaut Courtois is in the City goal, erecting a 2-man wall. It must be at least 35 yards out. Now Kevin De Bruyne fancies this. It's almost to the right of centre. As I say, 35 yards from goal. The two managers very animated down there, as you would expect, the likes of Guardiola, and to my right and to the left, Antonio Conte. It's going to be De Bruyne with the right foot over the wall, but straight into the arms of Thibaut Courtois. But what a start to the game. We've only been going for about 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes, and already chances at either end. I think this game is destined to have goals in it, and I think City and Chelsea will give it as good as they've got. Remember, on LTF, we didn't know at the time we were recording the LTF programme. It goes out on a Saturday. I should let you into a little secret. As Sané takes possession and plays it out to the left, to the right-hand side, where De Bruyne will pick that up. I'll come back to the LTF thing in a minute or two. Here's Sterling. Sterling has been graded to the England squad for next week's internationals. You'll hear both games live on the YouTube channel as Delph tries to thread that ball through. This is Delph now, former Aston Villa player. He's in the England squad by some sheer luck and coincidence. And City lose possession, and the ball will break away. But here's KO now to hoop it away. Now a chance for Alonso to get that down the line, and that's out of play. Down on the near side. There's an atmosphere there to beat no other, I have to say. Chelsea and Man City, great teams. This is our first head-to-head match actually of the new season, which is always a good sight to behold. Here's Kyle Walker, signed from Tottenham, into field towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne gets it back from Delph, and then the ball not back to Henderson, who's done a very good job. He got injured in that 5-0 win at Liverpool, home to Liverpool about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Hasn't got the head thing on. Got the head protector in that Peter Cech uses. As Delph feeds De Bruyne down the right hand side. Now uses Sterling. Sterling looked to go past Alonso, and he goes past him and runs through him like a train and then goes down. And they want a free kick on the edge of the box here, City. I think they might have just got it. Right on the edge of the box, and Raheem Sterling here whipping Alonso for pace here. And in the end, Bakayoko had no other choice but to take him out. 6 minutes gone. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0, but City here. In fact, it wasn't. I think the free kick wasn't given. I have to say, I thought that looked a free kick. Hard to tell, but it did look a free kick. Anyway, De Bruyne has it. We're in play again with De Bruyne now. Into to Delph. Delph now trying to look at plays Sterling in. Sterling has to play the ball back. And Raheem Sterling keeps possession. Plays it in field to Walker. Walker now on to Delph. Sorry, this is City now starting to have a bit of possession. A good feel for the game here. And they look to get Hughes in. Silva's there too, but Fabregas gets it back to Cahill, his captain. Taking over from the evergreen John Terry. There's a Chelsea player down on the far side. The referee Atkinson was straight on it. It's Bakayoko who's gone down, holding his left leg. There was a challenge there with Otamendi, I think. It was there to be won, and Otamendi got a bit of him there. Still a 0-0. Referee Atkinson will need to have a lot of wits about him here this afternoon. The ball back with Thibaut Courtois. 0-0. And he almost given away there, but to no avail as it actually turned out. In the other game between Reading and Norwich, and we'll keep you up to date with this. Cardiff are still top, by the way, in that championship match. It's still 0-0 between Norwich and Reading. 6 minutes have been played in that game. There's been 8 minutes gone here at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League tea time game. Both teams have had a couple of sighters. Bruyne with a free kick, and Morata making some good runs. In fact, Morata was offside on that latest Chelsea attack, and City have taken the free kick quickly. I think this is going to be a high tempo game. In fact, the referee, yes, he did allow it. I thought they were playing the ball back to restart the game again with the free kick again, restart the free kick, but I think the referee was happy. Remember, Manchester United won 4-0 against Crystal Palace. Spurs won by the same score and went third with that victory this afternoon. Harry Kane with 2 goals, Ben Davies with another one, and a disputed goal. Was it a Schindler own goal, or was it one for Sissoko? Well, that's one for the dubious goals committee to clear up, I suppose. Now, apologies again for the sound. This comes Manchester City again with De Bruyne on the left hand side. De Bruyne cuts in field. Good football again from Manchester City. De Bruyne has been at a very good hub for the way City have attacked. Here's Delph here on the far side. Delph trying to play that ball in. Back to David Silva, sorry. Now Delph takes it. David Silva rather. Delph now plays it in towards Gabriel Jesus, and then the shot from almost 25 yards out with the right foot. It was charged down, and now Chelsea can break with Fabregas, and down the left hand side goes Alonso. Alonso back in field, and again Cesc Fabregas looks up, just has to play to the side there, and Gary Cahill is there, and Aspilicueta, I should say, running it now for Chelsea. Kante round the corner. 10 minutes gone, still Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. pressure on Manchester City because United won 4-0 here at Old Trafford against a very sorry Crystal Palace side. It looks like being a long season for Roy Hodgson's men. The ball comes back again with Manchester City, and here is Kyle Walker. Walker finds Sterling. Sterling now looking to Walker, sorry, to find Sterling again, and Sterling has to go back over halfway. Antonio Conte just marshalling things down on that touchline at the moment. Their first Premier League start, in fact, since April, where he played against Hull City, April the 6th in actual fact, when he made his last appearance. Walker asking for the ball and getting it just to the right of the centre circle, over the halfway line to the right hand side. It goes to Sterling. Sterling back to Walker, and Walker gets it back to goalkeeper Ederson, who again finds Walker on the left hand channels. Deep into Boyden. Walker skips away over the halfway line. This looks like a promising move here as Kyle Walker comes forward. Has got David Silva up there. Silva with a shot, and he pulls the shot just wide of the target. And a goal kick it is to Chelsea, but a lovely run here from Kyle Walker, going well over halfway and causing some problems there for that Manchester City defence. And in the end the shot was pulled wide off target. And the goalkeeper in trouble, and it was almost a goal there for City. They charged the goal kick down, and it flew over the crossbar. Runninger and Courtois really playing chicken on their own 6-yard box, and in the end they were almost made to pay by Pep Guardiola's men. That could have gone anywhere. Chelsea here, instead of, why don't they just kick it long? I mean, why didn't Courtois do that in the first place? Kick the ball long, get it up the field. I just do not understand why goalkeepers, certainly foreign goalkeepers, I don't know whether you guys agree. If you're listening to this on demand, let me know in the comment section below after this game is uploaded, this commentary is uploaded properly to YouTube. Oh, and of course, if you want to tweet me with any, also my Twitter address will appear in the description. Certainly at half time, but I'll give you the address. My Twitter account is at Stutzy83, so if you want to follow me or send me a tweet throughout the match, I'll read them at half time during the break. Meanwhile, Chelsea on the attack at the other end with Kante, and he was crowded out by 2 City defenders, and Delph just hooks it as far up the field as he possibly can. And here is De Bruyne. De Bruyne looking to find Sane. Sane will win the ball. Sane can't keep it in play under pressure there from Bakayoko, and it's a throw to Chelsea. 13 minutes gone. Just to remind you, my address is at Stutzy83, and if you want to look for me on Facebook, I have my own page, John Stuttard Sports Commentator. Check that out and like the page if you like the work I do on the YouTube channel. Meanwhile, we've got Chelsea on the attack for our side with Aspilicueta, but he can't keep that going. Just to remind you, tomorrow we'll be live from another live Premier League offering for you, commentary before the international break, and it's going to be Everton against Burnley. The Chorus Match Live returns, and that will be from 2 o'clock with a 2:15 kickoff. Here's Sterling cutting inside from the right hand side, looks to find Jesus. Jesus uses De Bruyne, who drifts out to the right, tries to get the crossing, blocked by Alonso. Now Fabregas to bring it away down the left hand side for Chelsea. Looks to get Morata in behind, and he's got through, but the flag was up for offside, and it was a close call. I have to say, it did look level from the naked eye. I'm just looking up on the 18-yard line. No, the linesman got it right. He got it spot on. Morata just drifted offside at the last minute, and it didn't really help Chelsea's cause. Otherwise, that would have been a wonderful attack, and well, who knows if Morata would have got through then one-on-one with Henderson. That could have been rather interesting, but he did time his run wrong. Still 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge, but it's a very good watch, and I have to say I've enjoyed every single minute of it. Still 0-0. Here's De Bruyne down that near side. De Bruyne gets the cross in towards the 6-yard box, and well fielded this time by Thibaut Courtois. Let's hope he doesn't do any more shenanigans like play out from the back. Just kick it clear. Kick it clear. There's no need to play out from the back. Just hoof it. That's the first line of economics. Just, you know, I just don't understand why these foreign goalkeepers just play out from the back. I hate these goalkeepers that do that. In Peter Shilton's day, in David Seaman's day, I mean, Tom Heaton is not one for doing that sort of thing. If it's not necessary, he will kick the ball clear. There's no doubt about that. And I just don't understand why goalkeepers don't do that enough. As I say, a broken rib, Aguero, he's had 6 goals and 3 assists in his 6 games this season in the Premier League. But he's out now with a broken rib, which he sustained in a car accident when he was travelling to the airport in Amsterdam after seeing a pop concert earlier on in the week, on Thursday to be exact. Here's Hazard now breaking, just having to drift to the left slightly, but has Fabregas in support, deep inside Manchester City's territory. Then the ball back in field to Bakayoko, turns it on to N'Golo Kante. Good football again from Chelsea, but they've lost possession, and now Leroy Sané goes over the halfway line into the Chelsea half, midway inside the Chelsea half. Bakayoko comes back and stops him in his tracks. Referee said it was a fair challenge, so here comes Kante now for Chelsea. Finds Fabregas now. We've played just over a quarter of an hour, 16 and a bit minutes. One ball now looking for Hazard. The goalkeeper chested it just out of his penalty area, couldn't afford to use a hand, otherwise he would have run the risk of being sent off for a deliberate handball. Still 0-0, and Chelsea now having to see what City can break down. City, of course, were covering for the very first time this season, and that's surely got to be a free kick. Foul there on one of the City players. I can't tell who it was. It was David Silva, who's shaved his head off. Number 21, who's being fouled. De Bruyne again will be shaping up to take it again. It's about 35, maybe 40 yards from goal, and just again to the right of centre perhaps. I think De Bruyne, instead of shooting, may well want to. Well, there's only one man in the Chelsea wall. We've just played over 17 minutes, and it's going to be Silva to De Bruyne, who throws the offset piece in, and in the end it runs out of play on the far side for a goal kick to Chelsea. And well, it's a tight one to call, this one. Two teams, as I said on LTF the other night, and check the LTF channel out. I'll leave a link in the description below, again at half time. But where myself and Mad Claret 94, Chris Whiteman, his real name is, we talk about, we put the football world to rights. We film it every Thursday night via Skype, and then we put it out for you on Saturday morning, and we make it try and look as if we've filmed it on the morning, but of course we can't do that. Of course we're all busy. We're busy at weekends, so we try and put it out in midweek, and then film it during the midweek, and then put it out over on Saturday mornings. Premier League predictions. I predicted a 2-2 draw in this game, and here they come again with Delph. Delph now looking to find Sterling. Sterling now to the right of the area, crosses it into the danger zone. He'll come out again. There's the shot from Delph, deflected behind, and it will be a corner. Fabian Delph, of course, appearing for the first time, starting the first Premier League game, controversially called up to the England team by England manager Gareth Southgate. 2 qualifiers to come in the next few weeks or so, and you'll be able to hear both on the YouTube channel live and in full. Here comes the corner towards the near post, headed out, but kept alive here as De Bruyne now chips that ball in towards the far post. Header is wide of target, and a goal kick has been given. There's a City player injured. I can't see who it might be. Rudiger involved. This was the, I think it was off. No, Rudiger there playing offside there. He was the man involved in the challenge. This might give us a more telling angle. And again, the number is sort of blindside to me, and in fact it's John Stones. I couldn't tell who it was. John Stones had come up from the back, and sort of landed very awkwardly. I don't think it was anything malicious in Rudiger's challenge whatsoever. But Vincent Kompany's still out, and might be out for some time as we see that replay again. And it's a worse challenge. It's a worse landing every time you see it, and I don't understand why the television director is showing the replay of that injury. But we know how serious it is. I'm certain City will be warming up their players. Pep Guardiola will be... Well, it looks as if Stones will continue. I think he's a tough old competitor, despite what people might criticise him for, but he'll carry on, I think. Called up to the England squad again, and again myself and Chris, we have strong opinions on Gareth Southgate's England squad. He also came out as well and said half of them aren't good enough to be in the team, they're not fit to wear the shirt. Well, if that is the case, Southgate, why have you picked them? There are plenty of decent English talent out there. Maybe you need to look outside the big five to find the quality that's out there for England. Because I tell you what, the likes of Gareth Barry and James Milner have more spirit in their little finger than the likes of Jordan Henderson have right now and Fabian Delph have right now. Oh, it's given away though. Opportunity arises as Jesus breaks towards the penalty area. Silva now to Sterling. Sterling on the right hand side tries to cut in past two Chelsea defenders. He goes down. Doesn't going to get a penalty for that, I don't think. Wasn't going to get a penalty for that. And remember, City playing with 10 men temporarily. Stones is still out with an injury, and still it remains goalless. And Stones is back with us. We're coming up towards the halfway point of the first half, and it's 0-0 here between Chelsea and Manchester City at Stamford Bridge. And when we get a break in play, we'll check on events between Reading and Norwich. That's a big game affecting the top of the Championship. Remember, Cardiff are still top but drew. Wolves moving to second with a win. So a lot going on at the moment. As I say, no, I'm not no live chat tonight because of recent events, and we did that for the Burnley Huddersfield game a week ago, and we're doing the same thing again tonight and for the next few weeks as well. England games especially, where we're trying to concentrate on the importance of the game as well. Of course, I'm sure you guys will rather want to listen to me going on about the game as well. And we're here to try and please everybody, but we're here to try and please football purists who might want to listen to the commentary and tell me and be told what's actually happening out on the pitch, rather than me reading comments from silly comments from silly people who make derogatory comments. The free kick was taken far too quickly. It is a free kick to Man City, and Martin Atkinson making the point too clear. You took it too quickly. There is an injury there. Jesus was bundled to the ground there. Playing as a 2 with Aguero up until the car crash on Thursday. City has scored a whopping something like 25 goals in their last 5 games, and Aguero has been at the hub of it all. But they have still looked lively, City, despite that, and Fabian Delph was body checked by Aspilicueta over on the far side, but the referee has given a free kick in actual fact, so a free kick it is, halfway through the first half, and still 0-0 between Chelsea and Manchester City at Stamford Bridge in London, West London to be exact. And Stones has it now inside the centre circle, turns back, and Delph has it now for City, back in field once again, still 0-0. A good atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge, home of the champions Chelsea. Real test of Antonio Conte's management skills. This it's one thing winning the league, but it's quite enough of trying to defend the league title. Well, Mourinho and Chelsea has successfully defended the league title in the only Chelsea manager to have successfully defended the league title, but they won back-to-back titles in 2005 and 6. And the ball played back behind David Silva that time. Bakayoko can get that away though for Chelsea, and the ball towards Hazard. Hazard now on the right hand side. Delph checking him all the way. City have doubled up on him, but Hazard, to his credit, has won a throw. Coming up towards 25 minutes gone. 24 minutes and 40 seconds have been played. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. Burnley, John, get it right. Burnley are on tomorrow, not tonight. Earlier today, Huddersfield were tonked 4-0 by Tottenham. Three of the 4 goals came in the first half. 2 for Harry Kane, 1 for Ben Davies. A disputed goal. Was it an own goal by Schindler, or was it a clear goal by Sissoko? That will be debated. Political money by the dubious goals committee as Kante plays that forward, and then Fabregas now plays that infield. Now we're back again, far side. There's the crossman running it. It's a decent cross. Kante is there. The ball back, shot comes in, and the goalkeeper having to make the save. Bakayoko plays it back, and it comes off the defender for a corner. And that was a fantastic save there down at his near post by Edison. The shot coming in, and Kante didn't hit that true. Then the shot back in. I think it was Eden Hazard who struck it. Corner's been taken quickly. Short to Hazard. Hazard towards Morata, but well taken there by Edison inside his 6-yard area. And he gets Sterling away down the right-hand side. This is a good game of football. Just needs a goal, and the game will be lit up. And Sterling breaks down the right from De Bruyne's pass. There's 2 men in on the far side, and he missed off of them. Oh, do you believe it? Jesus was there, and so too was David Silva inside the 6-yard area, and neither could get on the end of that tantalising cross by Raheem Sterling. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, but what a rapid counter-attack there by Manchester City, breaking out from defence, starting with the goalkeeper, and he must have run something like 50, 60 yards with the ball, Raheem Sterling. Got the cross in towards the 6-yard box, and in the end neither Gabriel Jesus or David Silva at the far post could connect, and in the end Chelsea survive. Amazingly, still 0-0. How we haven't had a goal in this contest is beyond me. Marcos Alonso now for Chelsea. Infield towards Morata. Morata turning nicely. Turned John Stones as if he didn't exist. And then Stones got back at him lightning fast to block it. And it's a corner. And what a game now we've got ourselves here. Very good play here. Stones looked as if he was beaten. And in fact, it was Kyle Walker who got back there. There was 2 of them converging on it. So I thought Stones had blocked it initially. But Kyle Walker did the defensive work. Stones had in fact was backing him up. It's a corner now to be taken by Fabregas from the near side in towards the penalty area, headed out and then return back. Still 0-0. Hazard floats it to the far side. Aspilicueta has it. Running is off. There's an offside flag against Rudiger, and it's a 3 kick, and Rudiger is obviously frustrated, but let's have a look at this thing. Sterling receives the ball about 10 yards outside the penalty area, and then his own penalty area, and then runs and runs, plays a 1-2 here with Kevin De Bruyne, and he must have made something like a 75-yard run, and the cross was perfect, but there just wasn't. But the 2 attackers, David Silva was one, and Gabriel Jesus was the other. They just couldn't get enough pace to catch up with the ball. Fernandinho trying to thread that one forward. Alonso just puts his foot through it, gets it over halfway at best. Stones has it now for City. Still 0-0, coming up to 28 minutes and 30 seconds gone. In fact, we've had it. Still 0-0, as I say. Live audio commentary around the world of Chelsea against Manchester City on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Sonny on the far side for City. Infield again to Silva. Silva shoots, and the goalkeeper has to save at the near post to deny David Silva and a goal there. And Thibaut Courtois, who had an aberration earlier on, almost gifting the goal to Gabriel Jesus when trying to play chicken from the back. Well, he's probably redeemed himself there with a top-class save down at his near post. It really was a top-class save. And here's N'Golo Kante now running over the halfway line. And Alonso has to be wary. He can't be tagged for offside. He wanted the ball played, and he wanted it played earlier. And Chelsea now still have it. There's a line of about 5 or 6 City players back, though. So City have got sufficient numbers back. 7 or 8 back, I think. And then Hazard chips the ball. Really is offside. And a free kick it is to Manchester City. Just having a look at the save by Courtois. Silva just gets away, just shakes off Fabregas and gets himself at half a yard of space and hits it well with his left foot, but a goalkeeper of Thibaut Courtois' undoubted quality I'm sure was expected to make a very good save down by his near post. But as I say, still no breakthrough so far. In the EFL, Reading and Norwich were facing off in a game that kicked off at 5:30. And we're just going to see if there's any goals being scored in that one. At the moment, you're not missing anything on here, and in fact, we've had 2 goals in the game at Majeski. Madison for Norwich after 10 minutes, and Moore after 13 for Reading. They've played 27 minutes. City have won a corner. Whilst I was giving you that score, and De Bruyne takes the corner, and it all went in there inside the 6-yard area, and in the end, Otamendi got the touch, and it was wide at the far post of Thibaut Courtois. Nicolas Otamendi with a header, and a goal kick to Chelsea. 0-0. And don't play out from the back, Thibaut. That's it. Take another few steps back. Take a ground kick. Boof it up the field. That's it. Hoots it away with his left foot. 3/4 of the way up the field. That's the way to do it. That's the way to get a clearance going. And that's the way to bring Hazard into the play. Hazard back again. It's been even Stevens so far. Both teams have attacked each other, but at the moment, no way past neither Thibaut Courtois or Ederson in both goals. And still, we await the first goal as Gary Cahill, the Chelsea captain, plays it to Runninger on the far side. Runninger just to the right of the centre circle, cuts inside. Now has to go back inside his own half to Cahill, who scuffs his clearance out of play, 10 yards inside the city half, and it will be a throw down on the outside. Antonio Conte, a tremendous legend in Italian football circles, was a tactical masterstroke in the Euros a couple of years ago, when on the same day England disgracefully bowed out to Iceland. Earlier that afternoon, he played an absolute tactical masterstroke, keeping Spain absolutely quiet and Italy winning 2-0. He's got that tactical genius in him for many, many years, an Italian international as well. A good standing in the game over there, and in world football. He has the way with all, Antonio Conte, a really good man manager as well. And of course, no Diego Costa now. If you looked at his expression after the game in Madrid in the week where Manchester City came from a goal down to win 2-1. There is Ederson without his protective headgear on. Obviously that seems to have healed okay, that injury he picked up with Mane. He got sent off, incidentally, Mane, in that game. Now City have the ball. Silva plays it towards Sterling. Sterling knocks it back across the 6-yard box and knocked away again. There's Stones for Manchester City, keeping possession going. De Bruyne knocks it back, and now Fernandinho takes it back, and now Walker. Walker back to Stones. Stones over to the far side. Otamendi now to David Silva. Back in field to De Bruyne. De Bruyne back to Silva. Delph just on the overlap on the left hand side. Finds Delph, the former Leeds and Aston Villa man. And now here is De Bruyne. 33 minutes. We're into the 34th minute of the match, and the referees had to stop it. And Ramata has picked up a slight knock. Now this could be trouble for Chelsea. They've obviously had to sell Diego Costa to Atletico Madrid. He's out of the picture now. And now the last thing they need is Morata out. And this is a big blow if it is to be the case here. They do have Michy Batshuayi on the bench should they need him, and he's capable himself. He's got crucial goals in crucial games like the one in Madrid the other night to give Chelsea a very famous victory over there, having 12 for so long in that match. Morata got the equaliser incidentally in that match after 60 minutes, and well, it looks as if Willian is going to come on and play up front, so Morata is not going to take any further part in the match. That's a huge blow for Antonio Conte and for Chelsea, and Willian, the Brazilian, will come on, so Morata, their main source for goals, is off. Now, will Willian play up front? Well, I'm surprised he's put on Willian. I thought, like for like, Michy Batshuayi would have been a more obvious choice, but Antonio Conte is the manager, not me. And that's what he's paid to manage, and I'm here to just deliver the commentary. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. And Morata off with a knock. Let's hope for for Chelsea's case that is not as serious as its first look. It did look he was limping off. I can't say what the injury was, but it didn't look too good. He was in some discomfort as he walked off gingerly down the field. So he's receiving treatment from the Chelsea medical staff. Meanwhile, here at Stamford Bridge, it's 0-0. Live commentary around the world on the JB Claret YouTube channel. 5:30 PM English time, British summertime match between Chelsea and Manchester City, two of the top teams in the Premier League and one of the big head-to-heads of the season. First time we've had the chance to cover Man City. We've covered Chelsea a couple of times, once in the Community Shield, which they lost on penalties, and of course in the Clarets match delay where they lost on opening day 3-2 to my team Burnley. And again, you'll be able to see them in action tomorrow afternoon, and another live Clarets match live from 2 o'clock kick-off. Remember, let me reiterate that, 2:15 PM. We're at Goodison Park as Everton play the Clarets. And Burnley looking to add to their 5 away points they've accumulated so far this season. They have 9 points in total from their first 6 games, which if you offered that at the start of the season, I think they would have realistically beat your hand off, really. And they've played some good football. They've had a couple of dodgy spells at home. They won against Crystal Palace, and again they could have easily lost. There's a vlog about that on my YouTube channel if you want to see that in action. And the evidence is overwhelming in that. And then of course in our last commentary game against Huddersfield last week, they were very lethargic, but that was down to good tactical play from Wagner. As the ball gets put into the area, Sané inside the area, and Sané has fouled his man inside the area. Free kick to Chelsea. But that will give Manchester City real heart and belief, because what that will do for them, seeing one of their best attacking outlets for Chelsea go, will give Pep Guardiola that opportunity now to say, right, they've lost a player, now we've got to take full advantage of this, and we've got to go for the kill, as it were. 37 minutes gone, 1-1 in the other game between Norwich and Reading at the Majeski Stadium in Berkshire. Meanwhile, here in London, it's 0-0, but a good match. Hazard has it on the left-hand side. Hazard faced by 2 or 3 Chelsea Man City defenders. Played it in towards Willian. He was tripped by Kevin De Bruyne. That's surely going to be a free kick through Chelsea. And this is where they have to, if they can get their noses in front before half-time, Chelsea, and just see it to half-time, I think Antonio Conte would take that. This is a real opportunity. Cahill is forward for the back. Running is forward for the back as Paqueta has got out. Alonso has got out towards the far post. William will take it. The man who's just replaced the injured Morata. 38 minutes almost. In fact, 38.5 minutes almost elapsed. Martin Atkinson making sure there's no jostling or pushing in that City penalty area. That's a poor free kick from William. It was blocked by the first defender, and that was. Well, I'm giving it the big build-up. It's been a bit of a leg going out of the. It's been a bit of wind going out of the balloon as that ball is knocked in towards the penalty area, but again easily put out of the air by goalkeeper Edison in an all-green goalkeeper's kit today, or this evening rather. It's a Saturday night, and the sun is setting now in London. As well, there's not been. It's been a dry. It's a dry sort of night. No rain in the air. That sort of night really that makes the hair stick out of your neck. So 0-0 in that game. Just to bring you up to speed of what's happening around the world, to anyone who might be listening in around the world in the Championship, it was 1-1 the last we heard between Manchester City and Norwich, and after 39 minutes of play, that is what the score is. Maddison for Norwich after 10 minutes, Moore after 13 for Reading. Coming up towards 40 minutes of the first half gone. Going up towards 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Del for City. Infield to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's got Silva out to the near side, but he's found Sterling. He's found his way to Sterling. He's had a decent first half. It's been City's best outlet. De Bruyne chips that in towards the back post, and it was Jesus, and Sané was coming in at the back post as well. Opportunity knocked there for City just for a fleeting moment. So again, a lovely build up there. Jesus flicking it on. Sané just wasn't quick enough to get in that far post. And I think if he'd have left it to Sané, I think Sané would have had a terrific opportunity to have fired City into our first half lead. As it is, it's still 0-0. And we're now inside that last 5 minutes. Free kick to Chelsea. Foul by Hazard. Trying to take the free kick quickly, which they have done, and now it's back with Alonso. And Alonso plays it out again. Now Willian. Offside flag is got up again for the umpteenth time. And it's Bakayoko is being penalised this time. Yeah, I have to say the linesman on the far side, I think he's been quite eagle-eyed in the first half. Full credit to him. He's had a good first half, the linesman. He's got every decision against Chelsea as far as the offsides are concerned utterly and completely right. And I have to say the officials have done a decent job as well. It's a big game, and I have to say Martin Atkinson, to his credit, has refereed it very, very well. Still 0-0 into the closing stages of the first half. Just over 3 minutes 15 seconds plus stoppage time remain. Here's William now on the right hand side. William still for Chelsea, cuts in field. Will he get into position to shoot? He tries to play it towards the far side. Kante to win the next ball now for Chelsea. KO is there too. Running in now for Chelsea, still 0-0. But a terrific first half. 3 minutes before the break, and Sané almost nicked in there. That was a risky pass from KO, but it got through. And here now a chance on the far side for Hazard. Hazard having to check back because John Stones is right up at him. Still Hazard gets out of a cul-de-sac. Still 0-0. But yet we've still had some terrific action. But we've lost Morata to an injury, and well, unfortunately the ball's gone out. But Chelsea have lost the ball, and it's a throw. It was given away rather carelessly by Willian. And in the end, Conte's men see another opportunity bite the dust, so to speak. Well, I'm sure Pep Guardiola will be delighted to see the back of Morata through an injury. I know it wasn't a nice thing. 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. De Bruyne picks the ball up. Plays it to Walker. Walker now to the far side. Or to the near side, I should say. And, Sterling was surely hacked down, pushed down. He got away from Alonso, and Alonso had no other choice but to push Sterling down. And referee Atkinson, I think, might want to word with Alonso here. Sterling was away and he just hacked at him. It was a silly thing to do. Alonso has been spoken to at least by the referee. I don't think there was any booking there. But, Manchester City here have a free kick in a very promising position. Pep Guardiola and Antonio, I feel for the fourth official in these circumstances. Two like-minded managers. Pep Guardiola gesturing to one or two people. He reckons that the challenge is far worse than what we've seen it. Imagine he's only got one pair of eyes. We've got 22 and a bit camera angles to see it from us. De Bruyne sends that in. Good defending again. It's a corner. And it was Aspilicueta who got back there and hooked the ball out for a corner kick on the right hand side. Or will be taken on the right hand side to Manchester City. It was a good whipped in 3 kick from De Bruyne. Let's see how he goes with this corner. To be whipped in right footed. We're inside the last minute of double time. 25 seconds to go, and a good save from point blank range from Thibaut Courtois. We'll need a replay to sort out there because De Bruyne's 3 corner kick was a perfect one. The header was won, and from literally a point blank range right on the goal line, Thibaut Courtois with the save of the match so far. Now in a way to his left. It was a really good save by the Belgian international. 15 seconds of double time remain in the first half. Then we'll be down to the fourth official down below to tell us how much longer more we'll have on at the end. But for 0-0, I've really enjoyed it. We've played the 45 minutes. Still 0-0. We're now into stoppage time, for which there's just been 2 minutes. It has been quite free-flowing, despite the Morata injury, which took at least a minute or two for Morata to come off. So I think 2 minutes is just about right. Here's David Silva to continue from the right-hand side for Manchester City. Still 0-0 in this big head-to-head. City looking for a free kick. They weren't going to get it in a month of Saturdays. A minute and a half of the extra period still to go, and at the moment it's we're still awaiting the first goal, as you can see. It's been a first half really which has ebbed and flowed all the way through. But at the moment, no breakthrough between Chelsea or Manchester City in the big 5:30 kickoff. And I have to say, it's been a terrific watch. But as I say, we haven't been able to bring you any goals at all. And I don't want to go 2 commentary games without bringing you a goal. We've had 2 in the match at. 2 in a match at Reading between Reading and Norwich City, and they're coming up towards half time in that one, and that's still a 1-1 scoreline at the moment. And well, it's been a first half which has really been enjoyable. The tone has been really well set by both teams. Just a shame from the game's point of view and from Chelsea's point of view that Morata has had to go off with an injury. But it's been a first half really that has ebbed and flowed. Remember, it's 1-1 in the other game in the Championship, and that might be a dramatic ending. I think we could be in for a grandstand second half, folks, with the scoreline the way it is. But as I say, it's been really good as we now go into the last seconds of the first half. We're now inside that final minute of the first half, and it's been rather enjoyable, to say the least. For 0-0, I've really enjoyed every single second of it. As Walker now for City, inside the centre circle it goes. Seconds remaining of the first half. We will bring you we will take a break for 5 minutes and then bring you up to date speed. We've now played the 2 minutes. Referee Atkinson checks his watch, allows the throw to be taken. No, he doesn't allow the throw to be taken, and there we are. So there we go then. 1-0 at the break between decent watch, but no breakthrough thus far. And well, there we are. In the other game, that's taking place at 5:30. That's in the Championship. Reading and Norwich. That's 1-1 at this precise moment. Madison with a goal for Norwich after just 10 minutes in that one at the Majeski, but 3 minutes later, more equaliser to there. At 1-1 here at half time. In our match here between City and Chelsea, it's 1-1 here as well. We're going to take a 5-minute break. After that break, we'll bring you up to speed with what happened in the Premier League earlier today, and full second half commentary of Chelsea against Manchester City. Join us in 5 minutes time with the score, but we leave you here at Stamford Bridge with the half-time score: Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. Hello there, welcome back to Stamford Bridge for the match between Chelsea and Manchester City from Stamford Bridge. As I say, 0-0 at the moment in the game between Chelsea and Manchester City. We're just seeing a save there from Courtois and no breakthrough, as I say. But a good first half, as I say. It was a great first half. It was very much enjoyable right from the outset. But yet no breakthrough. Let's have a look what's been going on elsewhere in the Premier League this afternoon, because we've had some important games. Let's, as I say, Reading and Norwich is 1-1 in the Championship. So let's see what happened early today in all the earlier games. So let's start with what happened at Tottenham, at Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 4, as you know. Harry Kane after 9 minutes, Ben Davies after 16. Kane doubled his goal tally again after 23. The game was virtually won by halfway mark of the first half, and Sissoko has been credited with the goal. Credited with the goal there towards the end. So a bit. So 3 points, 4 goals, 3 points. Spurs, as things stand, up to third. At full time at the Vitality, it ended Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0. This is the first of the 3 Cockers. At Old Trafford this afternoon, Man City's rivals Manchester United running riot against Crystal Palace. Mata after 3 minutes, 2 goals for Mario Fellaini after 35 and 49 minutes. Lukaku keeping his goal ratio going with 4 minutes to go to half time, full time, and Manchester United a big stand. They're 2 points clear at the top. Just down the road from Manchester, a bit further on, about 20 miles down the road there, a late goal from Stoke saw them win 2-1 against Southampton. They missed a penalty, Stoke, actually. Jesse Rodriguez missing from the spot, but they did take the lead after 40 minutes through Mami Beran Diouf. Then Yoshida, with 15 minutes to go, equalised for Southampton. It looked as if for a while it looked like being a point apiece, but then Peter Crouch, 5 minutes from the end, got the winning goal, and Super Sub has done it for Stoke. Stoke 2, Southampton 1, and their season back up and running now as things stand. At the Hawthorns, a 2-2 draw, as it turned out, in a pretty entertaining game between two sides that have different contrasting styles. You've got the workman-like West Bromwich Albion and a free-flowing Watford. They'll be happy with a point, Watford, with all that. Rondon had put West Brom in front after 18 minutes. Then Johnny Evans made it 2 after 21. But then back came Watford, Decore after 37. And then Richardson in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Was it Richarlison, I think, Rick Howson, has got the goal in the 5th minute of time added on to equalise in that game. So 2-2 at the Hawthorns. At the London Stadium, wasn't a particularly classic game between West Ham and Swansea, but it went West Ham's way in the 90th minute. Sacco with the goal. West Ham season up and running. That actually whisked West Ham out of the bottom 3 into 15th, where they're now replaced by their opponents. Swansea are now 3rd from bottom, Bournemouth 19th and Palace 20th. So not looking good for Crystal Palace at the moment as regards that aspect of the season, really. Played 7, lost 7, and a minus 17 goal difference. So they're practically on minus 2, maybe minus 3 points at this stage with the goal difference. It's not looking terribly good, I'm afraid, for Crystal Palace at this moment in time. It's very, very bad. As in just breaking off from the sports at the moment, Ben Stokes and Alex Hales are out the tour of Australia, possibly. They have been suspended by the cricketing authorities for what happened in that Bristol nightclub brawl during the week. In Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton gets pole position, and Sebastian Vettel will start last on the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Let's have a look at how that grid shapes up, shall we, for tomorrow's Malaysian Grand Prix. Title Robert Sebastian Vettel starts last at the moment. I can't give you the full grid, but he's got pole. He beat Ferrari's Kimi Räikkönen into second place by into pole by 0.045 seconds, and Vettel, as I say, starts last after an engine problem. But he hadn't had a good practice session up until then. But a good qualifying session for Lewis Hamilton, looking to make sure that he keeps an arm's length between himself and Sebastian Vettel of Ferrari in his bid to win the World Drivers' Championship. And as far as the Olympic Games are concerned, as far as the Commonwealth Games are concerned, Birmingham, as it stands, are the only bidder of the event, and in fact Birmingham beat Liverpool early in September as the candidate city. In fact, they were the only city to submit the bid to the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Kuala Lumpur, Victoria in Canada, and an Australian entry had been thought to be possible bidders, but none exactly came forward. The CGF will now review the bid to see if it meets all the requirements of successfully hosting the event. It's due to take place in Sri Lanka in about 3 or 4 days' time, and the final decision on the host city will be expected at the end of the year, and it would cost at least £750 million to stage it, which would be the most expensive sports event in Britain since London 2012 for the Olympic Games. Now, Durban actually won the bidding process in 2015, but the South African city was stripped of the event in March because it did not meet the criteria set by the CGF. So we could have the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham possibly in 2022. And we're back, and both teams are out, and we're back live with you now for the second half as we caught up on all the sports news. Now we're back live with the action from Stamford Bridge as this second half gets underway here. This really is now winner takes all. The first goal in this match going to be crucially important. Chelsea, as I say, in the blue shirts. And Sané makes a break down the left hand side, but a good tackle there by Rudiger. Had to get across there pretty well. And this really will be a test of Chelsea's undoubted qualities as a Premier League team that really will show it. Remember, they lost Morata here to an early injury. Now they'll want to get on the front foot here, and they have a throw here, level with the penalty area. No changes from either side. It's as you were, really. As Fabian Delph takes the throw for City, and the ball is hooked back out. I have to say, for a 0-0, this game has ebbed and flowed a wee bit, and it's actually been quite an enjoyable thing. And there's an injury down there. David Silva in the wars, running with the challenge. Minute 30 of the second half elapsed. Thankfully, no extra time or penalties required. No cup tie element to it. Here's Delphi field to Silva. Silva trying to get it towards Sané, but he can't be found. And it's a throw to Chelsea. Incidentally, City attacking the shed end in the second half, where their supporters are situated behind. And Chelsea attacking the Matthew Harding stand, named after the former director at the club, who tragically was killed over 25 years ago in an horrific helicopter crash, and he had big plans along with Ken Bates for this club, and it was sad really that Matthew Harding was to unfortunately get killed in that fashion, and it's a poignant reminder and a nice reminder of what he did there, and it's nice that Chelsea honoured the club in that sort of fashion. 0-0 then at Stamford Bridge. Played just over 3.5 minutes of the second half, coming up towards the 4th minute of the second half, and here comes Chelsea on the break up towards Jesus, and then in the end Rudiger had to get that out for a corner, and it will be a corner on the far side to Manchester City. It will be ball over the top, but just couldn't find Jesus. The ball just didn't bounce enough as he would have liked, and it will be a corner to City. Chelsea 2, City 4 in the corner count, but no goals in the game so far. Otamendi and Stones are both forward for the back. City, who had a nice and steady 2-0 win in midweek. It's Chelsea, who had anything but a nice and steady 2-1 win. It was very dramatic and very, very close. Here's Sterling, left hand side. Sterling has Bernardinho to his left. Bernardinho playing it in field. David Silva now inside the penalty area towards Sterling, to the byline, off the defender for a corner, off Christensen in fact, and it's a corner kick here to Manchester City, who are making all the early running in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Silva with a lovely controlled ball, Sterling with the pace to get the ball crack across. He's had a good match so far. David Silva with the corner for Manchester City. 4 minutes of the second half gone. In towards the 6-yard area, headed away by Chelsea. We're not very far. Sani will take it in the edge of the area to the right hand side. Sani twists and turns, almost Ricky Villa style, and it ends up being blocked and hooked away by Marcos Alonso, and it's out for a throw on the far side to Manchester City, 10 yards inside their own half. Chelsea on the back foot in this second half. We're going to give the second half full attention. We'll bring you up to date with what happened in the Championship later on at full time between Reading and Norwich, which was 1-1 at half time. We'll bring you up to date with that, because I think the second half will be rip-roaring and ebbing and flowing. You know, you cannot take the eyes off these two teams for just 1 second. Chelsea have a throw on the far side. We've played almost 5 minutes of the second half here. In fact, we have played the 5 minutes. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. I apologise. And this game just needs a goal, and I think we'll see plenty now. Remember, we gave this the big build-up like we did Burnley Huddersfield, and that turned out to be a damp squid. This has been far from a damp squid. This has been an exciting game between two sides that like to attack, and this will make for an interesting second half, as Silva, who's been at the hub of all the good things Manchester City have done in the match, tries to do an attempted clearance down. It is a throw though to Chelsea, whether with their own penalty area on around the far side. Looking at the body languages of the two managers, you can tell Conte is the more agitated of the two. And no penalty. No penalty. We've lost pictures there for a second, but we are back live with you. And here's running in now for Chelsea. No penalty there. Could be controversial, that one. We lost the footage and then it came back to us. It's all about... As the ball now comes back to the goalkeeper, and now the ball out towards the far side, and still 0-0 as Willian takes possession, and we still await the first goal in this game between City and Chelsea. The first goal is going to be also important in this game, you would think. We've played 51 minutes and 54 seconds so far, and we're still awaiting the first goal in this game. Ball back to Thibaut Courtois. He kicks long and far up the field. Header one at the back, and then Stones will clear up for Manchester City. Back to Edison, who hasn't had nothing to do. There's a couple of players injured down on the ground. Referee Atkinson has wisely stopped it between Alonso and Walker. Bit of a collision there. He's had a good game, the referee. The official from West Yorkshire has really done a magnificent job so far, trying to keep both teams lid on the both sides. At the moment it's been a even side. There was a good, well, was a potential penalty there by foul on Christensen. It's certainly a shoulder charge. Was there enough contact? Well, that will be a question by a lot of the pundits. You have seen them given, but I have to say Martin Atkinson was probably just a little bit, but never mind. Here's City. They're certainly the dominant force of this second half. We've been going now for around 8 minutes. Silva trying to play the ball back, and Sally going forward, and he goes down. Now he's claiming he was tripped, but Atkinson says corner. Second half started to ebb and flow in the way City would like. Well, I think there was minimal contact. But certainly Alonso was doing his best to block him off and ran the risk of giving a penalty away if he wasn't careful. De Bruyne with a corner from the far side. City knocking on the door. Sterling in acres of space on the edge of the area. Shoots with his right foot. Takes it on the half volley and fires it into the shed for a goal kick to Chelsea. Oh, what a chance this was for City. The corner wasn't dealt with properly by Chelsea. Sterling had the freedom of the freedom to take his time, chest the ball down. He let the ball bounce, hit it left-footed on the half volley, but unfortunately did not test Courtois, and he smashed it over the crossbar. And it's a goal kick to Chelsea with 9 minutes of the second half gone. Remember, another match tomorrow afternoon, and we hope that's going to be exciting. Certainly for the Clarets out there. Well, we always try and entertain all our Clarets friends as well, and tomorrow it will be no exception, because at 2 o'clock, 2:15 kick-off, we'll be live from Goodison Park as Burnley head to Merseyside for the second successive away game. They got a 1-1 draw at Liverpool the other week. Now they look to try and do likewise away at Everton across Stanley Park. Everton against Burnley, 2:15 kick-off from Goodison Park tomorrow afternoon on the Clarets Match Live, only here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Here on the YouTube channel, we've had 10 minutes of the second half at Stamford Bridge, so 0-0. City played a little bit of chicken, but here's Nicolas Otamendi, gets the ball away over the halfway line, but cut out by Rudiger. Now Kante had it, and then he lost it, and now a chance here for Jesus to break forward. He's got Sterling to his left. Sterling now left hand side, gets the crossing. Christensen only half blocked it, and then the cross comes back in again, half blocked again. Silva knocks it back into the penalty area, and it's hooked away, and it's a throw to Manchester City, who are making all the running in this game. There's no doubt about that. They are certainly running the routes there. They're certainly calling all the shots here at this precise moment in time, and really making all the running here. They really have risen to all the challenges that have been put before them. So out for the throw it goes. 55 minutes of the game gone. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. And Fabian Delph, who started this game tonight, will take the throw. Level with the 6-yard box. Chelsea on the back foot. They lost Morata in the first half to an injury, replaced by Willian. They do have Michy Batshuayi on the bench should they need him. I think they probably will do at some point this evening. Here is Kante to bring it forward. Finds Bakayoko. Bakayoko has to turn back. Fabregas in the centre. Still deep inside their own half here, Chelsea. Bit of a worry here for Chelsea. This can't get out their own half. City have pinned them back so much. Now Alonso can trot over halfway, and then it inexplicably hits the ball against Bakayoko's back, and Stones gets it away. But he's giving it away. Kante now goes in with Delph, and Kante wins the second ball, but it goes straight through to the other end and to Anderson, the goalkeeper. Anderson short to Nicolas Otamendi. Otamendi to John Stones. John Stones just quite happy just to easily walk the ball towards halfway inside his own half. Here's Otamendi again. Over the halfway line to Sterling. Sterling with a good first time ball. Delph tried to dummy it. And then the ball back again to Otamendi. Otamendi back again. Now Sterling has it right hand side, left hand side rather, and Delph again can't connect, but it is a Burnley, it is a Chelsea City throw. Sorry. 57 and a quarter minutes gone at Stamford Bridge in a big game at the affects the top of the Premier League table. Both clubs widely tipped to finish at least contending for the Championship. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if both weren't contenders, real genuine title contenders this year. Willian has been tripped. My Fernandinho. Free kick for Chelsea. Fernandinho again in the chat from referee Atkinson. The free kick will have to be retaken because Atkinson was too busy talking to Fernandinho. So the free kick will have to be retaken. I'm just waiting for a replacement ball to come on the field. But Guardiola is standing there, nonchalantly looking on. Ran his won titles in Spain and Germany with Barcelona and Bayern Munich, but had ready-made squads by the time he got there, which enabled him just to add one or two bits. This has been a total rebuilding job at Manchester City since taking over the reins from Manuel Pellegrini. It's really getting it away for Chelsea down the right hand channel, headed away by Otamendi but not very far, in fact out of play for a throw almost level with the City area. As Blaqueta gets the ball into field to Kante. Kante spreads the play out towards the far side. Now real chance for Alonso to come forward. He wins a throw. In fact, his City win the throw. It comes up Alonso last, and it is a throw to Manchester City. And to come up towards an hour gone, half an hour to go at Stamford Bridge. And I get the 16th period. The longer this game goes on at goalless, the first goal is going to be oh so important, because if it is, if the first goal comes, I think first goal will win it. Here's a chance here for Hazard. Willian making a break to his right, and that's surely going to be a foul here. Free kick to Chelsea in a very good position. Fernandinho is the man that is fouled. Martin Atkinson, yellow card out already, so Fernandinho will be the first name into Martin Atkinson's referee notepad. He did take out Hazard. The ball had gone. The referee was spot on with that decision, without a shadow of a doubt. So City have a man in the referee's notebook, and Chelsea here have a free kick in a very promising position. Jose Fernandinho is now in the referee's notepad. And the free kick is going to be taken. It's a toss-up between Willian here and Cesc Fabregas. Really, Alonso will go forward here from the back. Taken short here to Hazard inside the area. Hazard shoots across the goal, and a good save by Edison. That was the first piece of work he's had to do all night, or all second half, and he was up to the challenge. The Manchester City goalkeeper. City weren't ready for this. It was a bit of a con trick here. Turned away from Sané and got his shot in here, Hazard. It looked as if the Belgium on his first start of the season was going to get an opening goal here, but Edison diving away to his left, turned the ball away, palmed it through a crowd scene and got away with it. Good save from the Manchester City goalkeeper. Stones back to Edison. Still no substitutions used by either side. Just the one in the first half in force for Chelsea. Morata off and Willian on. City still yet to make a substitution of any real note or any real value. Here's Kante now towards Willian. First touch was good. Going back quick from Willian into the path of Kante. Then there was an offside given against Hazard. 3 kick to Manchester City. Chelsea been caught offside too many times for my liking this evening, I have to say. 6 offsides to City's nil. They've timed their runs perfectly well. Here's Delph for City, midway inside the Chelsea half to Sterling. Sterling back to Silva. Silva at the hub of all the good things City have done, as well as Raheem Sterling as well. He's had a decent match tonight, the England man. One of his better games. Really giving himself the confidence. Sane now for City, trying to take on Alonso. Can't beat him, it's out of play. Or it's been kept in play rather. Fernandinho for City, still looking for that opening goal. Otamendi has it, still inside the Chelsea half, midway inside in fact. Delph, Silva went down, once a free kick, not getting it from Atkinson, the referee. Here's Otamendi on halfway, just miscontrols it slightly, but he's allowed to carry on. And again, the game just dwindles down to a walking pace. And still we await the first goal. Remember, Huddersfield lost 4-0 to Tottenham earlier on today. Bournemouth Leicester ended 0-0. Manchester United at Stoke 2, Southampton 1 was a full-time score. As Sterling got dancing down that far side. West Brom 2, Watford 2, Manchester United 5. Manchester United 5, Crystal Palace 0, and 2-1 to 2-2 between West Brom and Watford, and 1-0 to West Ham over Swansea. Stoke 2, Southampton 1 was another score from earlier today. Tomorrow 3 games. Arsenal versus Brighton at 12 o'clock, 12 noon. Then our match at 2:15 between Everton and Burnley. And a real tasty one up at St James's Park at about 4:30 kickoff between Newcastle United and Liverpool, where Rafa Benitez will go in against his old team, where he won the European Cup and the FA Cup in his spell at Anfield. Won both the trophies he won at Anfield on penalties, would you believe? Here's Delph, infield to Fernandinho. Fernandinho out towards the far side. De Bruyne now crosses in. Lovely low cross, and then almost a little flick there from Gabriel Jesus. Could have took that away from Thibaut Courtois. It was a dangerous ball in. De Bruyne just eluded Jesus inside the penalty area, and in the end it was carried in quite comfortably I should say, by Thibaut Courtois, whose kick is towards the upper penalty area, and Ederson just rather calmly and seriously easy going catches it under no great pressure. It was a seriously easy going catch, but it's been a riveting encounter between two attack minded sides, but yet defences have certainly been on top at the moment, and they've nullified up the attacks. And unfortunately with no Morata, from a Chelsea viewpoint, it sort of ruined the game as for neutrals, the injury, but certainly hasn't spoiled the enjoyment. As the ball's up back, Silva in a bit of space inside the area. David Silva's shot, well blocked there. I think it was Alonso putting his body on the line. That was a really good defending. James Tarkowski at Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. City still have it though. Here's a chance here now for Delph. Delph's low cross into the area, and Jesus was, well, he couldn't flick it goalwards, and City are having all the best chances but aren't finishing them. Offside would have been against Hazard, and he walks away a little bit disgusted. The referee allowing it to go on because there's nothing forthcoming. There's a substitution on the near side. City yet to make one yet. Well, I'll tell you something. We have got a game on here, folks. One chance needs to be put away, and we might have a really good grandstand finish to the second half. I have no doubts about it. John Stones now for Manchester City. To Kyle Walker, back to Stones. This second half has really lifted off big time. And if you're listening to this I'm wondering why it's 0-0. Well, the goalkeepers and the defenders are to thank. It's De Bruyne now. Jamala shoots. It's gone into the corner. What a superb goal with his left foot from over 20 yards. And Manchester City get their trust rewards because they've been the dominant force in the second half. De Bruyne and his teammates go and celebrate in a huddle towards the City fans to my left-hand side. Chelsea are in trouble. The champions are in trouble. And Manchester City, who could do with a win to keep up the pressure on their Manchester rivals at the top of the league, are doing so terrifically well. And he's one of their better players, De Bruyne. Shot from 20 yards, edge of the D, dead centre of the D. Christensen trying to block it. Thibaut Courtois hasn't got a chance. And with 67 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. And look what it means for Pep Guardiola. The fist pumps are there. And City are in front. A big goal. It's his first of the season, and what a time to get it. 67 minutes gone. A remarkable strike from Kevin De Bruyne, and a City supporter showing his passion. And Michy Batshuayi, I think, is about to come on for Chelsea. And Chelsea really have lost all their attacking momentum when Morata was forced off with an injury. But really, that was a super strike, left-footed strike from over 20 yards. And City, I have to say, for the first 23 minutes so far of the second half, have been exemplary. They've been the better side. Have been the better side by none. And have got their just reward. 1-0 to City. And boy, did they deserve it. But here come Chelsea now, looking to hit back straight away. Here's... oh, they've lost it. And it looked as if Bakayoko was going to go forward, but they lost possession again. Silva has done terrifically well, but Kevin De Bruyne, take a bow. That was a marvellous 20-yard left-footed drive right up into that top right-hand corner of the net. It really was a super strike. And we needed a goal. Boy, have we got a goal here. The Match Live has got a goal. And it's a superb goal for Manchester City. 1-0 they lead. Here's Delph on the left-hand side. Infield to someone who drifts out towards the left-hand side. Now Sané takes possession. Back to Delph. Delph has to pirouette away from Kante's challenge. And then Otamendi back to goalkeeper Edison, whose save at 0-0 from Hazard was certainly a crucial moment in the game. And his kick is too far up the field, and Thibaut Courtois just nonchalantly catches the ball. Seriously easy going kind of a catch. And now a double substitution being prepared by Antonio Conte. Pedro and Batshuayi about to come on, and they will have to throw men at this now. Chelsea, they have no choice, I think, in the matter. But a super strike from Kevin De Bruyne has given the real difference here in this game, and it's given the game some real impotence. We have a goal. Here's Edison to Otamendi. Otamendi now to Delph. Still inside their own half. Silva playing a lovely first time ball, but Delph was very slow. I can't understand why he's in the England squad. He has only not made enough appearances to warrant being in the England side. And I just don't understand it. I will be doing it. Not only do we have the match commentaries, or just break off for a second because I thought for a moment William was going to steal in there for Chelsea, but not to be. Here's Delph back to Nicholas Otamendi, I should say. Now John Stones breaks away for Manchester City. Still 1-0 City lead. And here's Silva midway inside the Chelsea half. Drifts out to the right hand side. De Bruyne and that man again. Has it. Silva now plays it in there. Sterling almost has it taken away from him right at the last second by N'Golo Kante. Otherwise Sterling might have been in there for goal number 2. He was swiveling to shoot, and Kante just said, "Thank you very much, I'll have that ball, I'll pinch that one off you and nick that one off you and carry on." Chelsea attacking. 71 minutes gone in the game. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea Lost on the opening day here to Burnley. Beat Spurs at Wembley in one of the other head-to-heads of the season. Man City have won their other head-to-head so far, 5-0 against Liverpool, and have looked totally unstoppable in most of their games so far this season. And the ball comes in towards Williams, and it's hooked away once more. And now to play on the near side, it will be a Chelsea throw, and double substitution is going to be made. We're going to see Pedro enter the fray here for for Chelsea, sorry. Eden Hazard is going to come on. The Garden of Eden, it says there, one of the banners. Pedro, the former Barcelona man who can score crucial goals. Bakayoko, one of the two holding midfielders, has been sacrificed. And Michy Batshuayi, who scored that dramatic winning goal against Atletico Madrid in midweek, comes on to take his place with just under 18 minutes to go. Chelsea making some tactical changes here in a bid to try and get back into this game. But here's Sané for Manchester City. They've yet to use a substitution. Sané ran into traffic, and then the ball back to Thibaut Courtois. Fabregas back to Courtois. For a lot of the fight Chelsea have lived a charmed life, and they've paid the price. Willian has gone down clutching his face, and the referee might have to revisit this. He's had to stop the play or to mend the man involved. Oh, there's a flailing arm, maybe an elbow there by Nicholas Otamendi now. William went down. Whether it was accidental or not, that remains for Mr. Atkinson to see. I have seen red cards dished out for less. Meanwhile, substitution for Manchester City. About to make their first alteration of the match, and Christensen gets it back to his goalkeeper. Of course, Chelsea without David Luiz. I don't think City have missed Sergio Aguero too much as far as the attacking force is concerned. I think he's just led the line very well on his own. De Bruyne's had a good match. Sterling's had a good match. And so too has David Silva. And here comes Azpilicueta. First time crossing towards the 6-yard box and turned away by Nicholas Otamendi for a corner. Azpilicueta getting a decent low cross in there. Batshuayi was waiting in the centre. Corner taken quickly by Fabregas towards the 6-yard area. Not back there by Azpilicueta. He was trying to look for Batshuayi, but he hit too much whip on that attempted chip into the penalty area, and it's out for a goal kick to Manchester City. Well, De Bruyne played a lovely 1-2 here with Jesus, and then smashed an unstoppable left-footed shot. It was right into the right corner. As soon as it left his foot, it was a terrific volley, a terrific shot. It was a left foot rasper, really, and it silenced the whole of Stamford Bridge. A big moment in this game for both seasons of Chelsea and Manchester City. Bernardo will come on to replace the brilliant David Silva. He's had a brilliant 75 minutes or so tonight. He's done remarkably well, getting a good ovation from the travelling Manchester City supporters, who will be singing Blue Moon to the moon and back tonight. I would have thought, if they hang on here for 3 crucial points. So Bernardo coming on for 15 minutes, for a 15-minute plus stoppage time cameo. And into the action straight away on the halfway line. And it's been an amazing afternoon. Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 4. That was a lunchtime game. Bournemouth 0, Leicester City 0. It finished. Manchester United 5, Crystal Palace 0. Stoke 2, Southampton 1. That finished at the Britannia. 2-2 between West Brom and Watford. And West Ham winning 1-0 as the attempted back flick from Pedro. Just couldn't find anybody there. But here's Runninger now. Bundled his man over. Fairly said Mr. Atkinson. Then runs into traffic again. City have been the better side in this second half, but Chelsea know now they've brought two attackers on, Pedro and Michy Batshuayi. They might as well throw the kitchen sink at it now. But they've lost possession, but they've won a free kick. And Jesus is going to be spoken to here by the referee. Late foul there on Gary Cahill. And here's a chance there for Chelsea for a fleeting moment for Batshuayi, but it's Pedro was there too, and it was thrown into the arms of the goalkeeper. Chelsea really now need to make something happen. We've played 77 minutes in the game. We've had 76 minutes and 53 seconds. 77 minutes almost gone in the game. Conte asking for more as we go into the final 13 minutes plus stoppage time. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Full match audio commentary on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Tomorrow our live commentaries take us to Goodison Park for another Claret's match live as Burnley make the trip to Goodison Park, where they face an underperforming Everton and Ronald Koeman under a lot of pressure. And we got a 2-2 draw against in Europe this week in a game they should have really won. As that ball is lifted into towards the penalty area, Aspilicueta by the byline, knocks the ball back across, and well taken by Edison on his near post, and unorthodoxly rolls the ball out to Sané. Ball Manchester City. Bernardo now goes over the halfway line, finds De Bruyne inside the centre circle, drifts out to the right hand side. Again, City turning defence into attack at any possible opportunity. Bernardo has it now midway towards the 10 yards from the Chelsea penalty area, and now Sterling has it right hand side, cuts into the penalty area. Sterling gets his shot in left footed, it's charged down, and it's back with Walker now. Walker to Fernandinho just again brings it to a virtual standstill, walking pace if you like, almost walking football style. 78.5 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Man City 1. Remember, we got the Everton Burnley game, plus there'll be FIFA 18 content going on in the next 2 or 3 days, as well as I set out my Burnley career mode of FIFA 18, and there will be television commentaries for that series as I take on the Premier League finals with my Burnley career mode. I played on professional. Anyway, back to the game, and De Bruyne trying to put the ball in towards Sané, but he couldn't attempt to get it through. Sané has pitched the ball back, finds Bernardo to Delph back to Fernandinho, trying halfway inside the Chelsea half, and then towards the edge of the penalty area it goes, and then De Bruyne, the goal scorer, loses possession. Now Kante to bring it away for Chelsea. Chelsea though need to get the ball forward. They play 79 and a bit minutes. Chelsea 0, Man City 1 is the current score here at Stamford Bridge. A remarkable game of football it has been. A terrific match for the neutral, which has just been sowered a bit by the unfortunate injury to Morata in the first half, but has really lived up to all the hype of the billing. Goalkeeper kicks away left footed over the halfway line towards Leroy Sané, tackling with running it on the near side. Inside the Chelsea half, halfway inside the Chelsea half I should say. 79, in fact 80 minutes have been played, 10 minutes plus stoppage time exactly to go. Chelsea need to find something in them remaining time that remains. Probably going to add on possibly 4 minutes, so maybe just a tad over 12, 13, 14 minutes to find an equaliser and save a point and keep Manchester United and do Manchester United and Jose Mourinho a huge favour. Otamendi has it for City. Backing goes to the goalkeeper, Edison. Again, City playing out from the back. I always worry when a team starts to play out from the back like that they're going to play chicken and they end up paying for that sort of thing. The City have it now with Bernardo, but he loses out, and now Kante now inside the centre circle, gets it over the halfway line, can't find Willian on the right hand side. Delph wins it for City, and in fact wins a throw off Aspilicueta, And all Conte's team need to do for the last 9 minutes plus stoppage time is just hang on in there, take the 1-0, take the 3 points, get back to Manchester, knowing that a team will be joint top again of the Premier League tonight, possibly ahead on goal difference. But what a wild story finish to this game. Yeah, as we are now way past 10 past 7 in the evening here in Britain, British summertime of course, and at the end of next month we'll be back to the good old GMT, the Greenwich Mean Time, when winter will really kick in good and proper. That's when the real football season really begins, when the winter settles in. Walker dodged out for a throw. Last day of September, and we're into October. As Kante turns nicely there, just runs into traffic a wee bit, and now he's just over the halfway line for City, and really almost caught out there, and Sané frustrated there. He almost nicked the ball, and he would have gone right through on goal. One would have had the feeling. And here come City again with Jesus, ball back towards Jesus, but Christensen cuts it out, and Kale can complete the clearance. My goodness, it's City now looking to skill this game off in superb style. The ball back across and over the bar it goes. A goal kick has been given. Oh my goodness, what a second half it has been. City got about to make a substitution. Leroy Sané is going to come on, and a good performance. Hasn't scored, but again has been at the hub of all the good things that Manchester City have really done. Ilkay Gundogan is going to come on, former Borussia Dortmund midfielder, scored in that 2013 All-German Champions League final at Wembley. Ilkay Gundogan. 6.5 minutes left plus stoppage time. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. The goal scorer after 67 minutes was Kevin De Bruyne. Here's Ederson kicking away, left footed, over the halfway line it goes. Gundogan gets his first touch on halfway, plays a good ball towards Sterling. De Bruyne is in the middle, Sterling down the right hand side, ball into us. Here's just volleys it off the line, would you believe? Off the line by Runninger. It looked to go all the way then from Gabriel Jesus. A superb volley from the far post. Hit it well, and running his head, turn it out for a corner to City when it should have been goal number 2. Good defending, it has to be said. Guardiola thought it was in. We thought it was in. Still, we play on. Just under 6 minutes left to play. City would have wrapped up the match for absolute certainty if that had gone in. Still 1-0 they lead. And a big game here. And then it's remember, we've got Everton Burnley tomorrow. Then it's international football as regards the audio commentaries. Here's Fernandinho, cuts in for the left hand side, goes down. Referee allows it to go on. Delph now, left hand side, just by the byline if you like. Gets the ball back. And Otamendi on halfway now will just knock it back to Edison and frustrate Chelsea even more. 5 minutes, we're coming up towards 5 minutes to go of the second half. It looks as if so far, the way things are looking, it's the perfect away performance from Manchester City. This was a big test of their potential title credentials. At the moment they are passing that test with flying colours. And Manchester United will have to do exactly the same later on in the season, you would think. They haven't got a particularly good record at Stamford Bridge, Manchester United, however. Here's Delph for City. 1-0 they lead. And a good value for that lead. And Delph gets it back from Bernardo. And Bernardo now gets the ball back. Still Bernardo towards the edge of the area. Here's... oh, Jesus, to Bernardo. Crossing from the left-hand side and nodded behind by Marcos Alonso for a corner. Lovely football again, involving Bernardo and Sané, or rather Jesus. 4 minutes to go. 1-0. Glum looks on the Chelsea supporters. This was not what they expected tonight. Losing Costa to Atletico Madrid, and the last thing they knew was an injury to their key man Morata, and they lost him. And the substitutions of Batshuayi and haven't worked as that free kick, corner kick comes in. I think it was Stones winning the header, and it was straight into the arms of Thibaut Courtois. Just over, he just can't get out of their own half at the moment. And they have a throw deep inside their own half, and it's back to Courtois. And Courtois' kick is not a good one. It's straight away given away to Fernandinho. Chelsea have committed too many cardinal sins in giving possession, cheap possession to Manchester City as well. They haven't helped their own cause. They've had a poor match today at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea. So far, it's looking as if City are going to pull off a very deserved 1-0 victory. Here's Jesus as he cuts in towards the byline. Jesus tries to knock the ball back, and he kept it in play to his internal credit, but he could only hook it back rather tably to the goalkeeper, who bowls it out. Courtois to Willian. They need something now in this remaining 2 minutes 35 plus stoppage time. Here goes Batshuayi on the chase. The goalkeeper used his chest, came out of his box, couldn't risk using his hands, otherwise it would have been a deliberate handball and a red card. Edison took the risk, but he got away with it. He's had a good match, in fairness. He made that save at 0-0 from Eden Hazard, and that sort of swung things. It looked as if it was going to swing things Manchester City's way at the end of it. And at the moment they're looking as if they're going to get 3 points, and a key 3 points in the battle for the championship. De Bruyne wins possession, gets the ball away, up towards the chasing Sterling, and gets it back. Alonso gets it back to his goalkeeper. We're now right towards the last knockings of this game. Tomorrow we've got Arsenal. Tomorrow Arsenal Brighton is a 12 o'clock kick-off, and then at 2:15 kick-off we start at 2 o'clock the Clarets match live Everton against Burnley, and then at 4:30 Rafa Benitez as Newcastle faces former Chargers Liverpool in what could well be the most explosive match of the season. And this game has certainly not disappointed in terms of living up to billing and expectations. City have certainly lived up to it. Chelsea have been a poor second, and Willian has gone down in agony. Referee Atkinson out with a yellow card, and Otamendi is the man booked. Scissors challenge, and it was an awful challenge by Nicholas Otamendi. Studs was showing it. He's lucky really that only one foot of studs was showing there, Otamendi. Otherwise he would have been both. I think he would have been sent off under FIFA regulations. Here's Fabregas with a free kick. Can Chelsea equalise? For a free kick, right foot into the 6-yard area, and it's headed over the top by Christensen. It's a goal kick. 30 seconds to go in favour of Manchester City. 30 seconds of normal time to go, and then it'll be down to the fourth official to tell us how long there will be added on at the end of this game. Sums up really the frustration that Chelsea have been right under here tonight. But at the end of the day, City came with a game plan, have executed it perfectly. 3 added minutes for Chelsea to try and find an equaliser. Otherwise it's City going back up the M1 and the M6 from London back to Manchester with all 3 points safely in the bag. Here's running in now for City, for Chelsea rather, towards Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta down the corner from Fabregas to William. William spraying it towards the right hand side. Remember, 3 added minutes. We've had 30 seconds of those 3. 2.5 minutes to go. Chelsea having to go back because City have pinned them back to playing the ball back. They've brought virtually everybody back behind the ball now. City, and offside flag has got up, but not for the first time here. Pedro, the man, are deemed to be offside. In fact, him and Batshuayi were both offside, so take your choice. Do you know if that was a sarcastic reaction to being flagged offside or not? I'm not quite sure. We've had 1 minute of the 3. And City look as if they're going to get 3 crucial points here. Daniel is going to come on. Guardiola. It's almost as if he's a guy directing traffic here. Is he a traffic warden or something? Oh, you've got to love these two managers. Great characters in the game. One Spanish, one Italian. It looks as if it's going to be Spanish beating Italian at the moment. But still time for Chelsea. 90 seconds remaining of the stoppage time. We're halfway through it. And here's Kante. If anyone can rescue it, he can. Running us up in support. Still deep inside City half. Here's William. Kante edge of the penalty area. Can't get the ball under control. William wins it though. And as per Quetta, it needs to be a good cross towards the back post. Headed out by Walker. Good defending by the England man. It's a corner. 1 minute of the stoppage time to go. Remember, I should stress it's a minimum of 3. And Thibaut Courtois thought for a moment he was going to go up. The Chelsea corner's been taken quickly. He stayed back on the halfway line. The ball comes into the penalty area. Kante goes in for the second ball, fouls his man, and that might just be it for Manchester City to get possession, take as long as they need, and bring about a deserved victory. It's foul there by Kante on Gundogan on the edge of the City box. 30 seconds to go of stoppage time, and it looks as if now City will make a substitution. Daniel will replace the man that has scored what could now possibly and most likely turn out to be the winning goal of this game. I thought it might just need the one goal, and I think I might have been right. Kevin De Bruyne comes off. Daniel comes on. City using their final change. We played the 3 minutes, but I'm sure he'll had at least 30 seconds on Atkinson at the end for the substitution. As Ederson takes the 3 kick up towards halfway. Here's come Manchester City now, looking to maybe kill it off. Gundogan trying to get on the end of Sterling's through ball. Referee will surely another 10-15 seconds on because of the substitution. We're now 25 minutes over the 25 seconds over the 3 minutes. Still Chelsea. Have they got one last attack in them? They tried to launch something forward, but they've lost it. And Walker now just takes it calmly to the corner flag, and that should be that really as far as the contest is concerned. And there goes the whistle. Both Pep Guardiola and Antonio Conte shake hands. It's Pep Guardiola's night. Chelsea have been beaten at home for the second time this season, and Manchester City have repeated what Burnley did on opening day. Well, that's twice we've covered Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and that's twice they've lost now. And penny for Antonio Conte's thought to the City fans. It's joy and pure blue moon ecstasy. There will be a blue moon rising at the top of the Premier League tonight, and they will be following the blue moon up the M1 and the M6 back to Manchester, because they've gone to Chelsea and have won. And what a nice touch from Pedro to his former boss, Pep Guardiola. Disappointment from Chelsea, who just didn't do themselves justice on the night, really, against a very well organised City team. And it's a nice touch there that the Chelsea players shake Pep Guardiola's hand. He's shaking players with Chelsea's players, and I think that's a nice touch. It really is a nice touch, and he's having some words of comfort there for Christensen there. That's great management. I tell you what, that's a sign of a good manager. And the Chelsea players, Courtois and De Bruyne, shake hands with each other. They have a bit of a conversation. They're two Belgian internationals. They are good friends. And the City players going over to their supporters, and it meant a lot. And the bond between City's team and their supporters is there for all to see. The City fans are in fine voice, and they deserve every single accolade. They were the better team in truth throughout the whole 90 minutes. Chelsea didn't offer enough, I felt, in the second half. They had that one moment at 0-0 where it could have all changed if Hazard had beaten Ederson, who made an absolute storming save diving away to his left hand side. But in the end it was not enough, and this was the winning goal after 67 minutes. De Bruyne clutching onto a pass from Jesus, hitting it from about 20 yards and smashing it in past the despairing dive of Thibaut Courtois. And it's Manchester City who take all 3 points. We'll try and get an interview maybe from Pep Guardiola in a minute or two, but I have to say it's been a marvellous game, playing in a magnificent spirit. They're now unbeaten in 10 matches at the start of the season in all competitions, 9 wins and a draw, and I have to say they've been totally majestic in the way they've gone about it tonight, and one has to comment on that. Been a fantastic display. It's almost near perfect, if you like, the way they've gone about all this. And to be fair, they've played some scintillating football. Chelsea really have stuttered a bit, certainly at home this season. They had that 3-2 reverse, what we covered on the Clarence match, delayed against Burnley, and they went 3-0 down and defensively looked all over the place. But they were getting their season back on track. They had a great result in midweek in Madrid against Atletico in the Champions League, and now they've lost a crucial match here. Could that, at this early stage, and I don't want to put the muckers on the Chelsea fans who were listening in, but could that have killed off your opportunity of maybe winning the league, or is it far too early to say? 22 goals they've scored in the Premier League this season. That's the most goals that have gone in, and that the latest one, the 22nd one, was an absolute cracker. And if you missed it and you haven't seen it yet, check it out on Match of the Day tonight, because it was an extraordinary move that preceded it. Played a 1-2 with Jesus, and now 8 straight wins. And in fact, in aggregate scores against all their opponents, they've scored 27 goals and conceded 2. So they, in aggregate, they're winning 27-2 against every opposition going they played this season, which shows how well they're doing. But remember, they were like this at the start of the last season, and then when it got to winter time, they started to have some dodgy results. They certainly had dodgy results over the turn of the year and lost crucial ground in the title race. So let's look at the full match stats then, shall we? 4 shots to 17 in Manchester City's favour, 2 shots to Chelsea on target to 6 for Manchester City, 1 counting really big style, 4 corners to 8 in Chelsea's favour, in City's favour, and there we are. It's been an afternoon of real excitement in the Premier League. Manchester United winning at Old Trafford 4-0. Tottenham winning quite comfortably at Huddersfield Town at the start of the day by 4-0. Bournemouth, Leicester finished goalless. Won't do their chances much good at getting out of that bottom 6, I think, for both sides. Stoke won 2-1 at home to Southampton. They missed a penalty in that game as well. 2-2 it finished between West Brom and Watford, and West Ham winning by 1-0 at home to Swansea City. Tomorrow afternoon we've got there's 3 more games in the Premier League. We've got 12. There are taking place at the Emirates. We've got at the Emirates there is Arsenal taking on Brighton and Hove Albion, and you think at the way things are, maybe 3 easy points going Arsenal's way. Brighton will be confident having won their last 2 games. And then at 2:15 with a 2 o'clock start on our YouTube channel, our match from Goodison Park, Everton versus Burnley. The Clarence Match Live will be back and in full swing for that one. And then later on, it's the turn of Rafa Benitez coming up against his old club Liverpool. Of course, they go, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp go to Newcastle, knowing that Jurgen Klopp is under pressure. They're conceding goals left, right and centre, which is always a problem really in that aspect. We're going to try and get a few interviews. We've got about 10 minutes of the broadcast to run, and we hope to hear from 1 or 2 of the protagonists before we leave you tonight, about 8:22 tonight. But it's been a really fascinating fixture today. It's been really fascinating in terms of the way the game's gone and everything else. But earlier today, big wins for Tottenham and Manchester United, and now Manchester City have done so. Kevin De Bruyne's goal 23 minutes from the end, halfway through the second half, has won the match for Manchester City. And it's been a remarkable finish to a game that has certainly had all the hallmarks of a tremendous game. Well, we are waiting to hear possibly from some of the protagonists from today's match. We are still waiting to hear from Pep Guardiola, perhaps Antonio Conte, get their reaction to what happened here today. But one thing is for certain, folks, it was an enjoyable match to commentate on. One of the big head-to-heads. We've covered one of the big head-to-heads in the Premier League for the first time this season. My goodness, it did not disappoint one iota. This was the game of the weekend, and it looked on paper to be a cracky game on paper, and in the end it was certainly that, and it did not, I can tell you, disappoint one little jot. But Man City the winners by a goal to nil, the goal scorer, and you have to say, when you look at it on the stats and the balance of play, I think the better team won. I think sometimes you just got to hold your hand up and say, well, City played better of those on the night. I'm sure Antonio Conte is an astute enough manager to hold his hand up and say, well, we weren't good enough. It didn't help their cause when they lost Morata after sort of half an hour, 40 minutes, 35 minutes to a knock he got, and hopefully that's not going to be as serious as it was first feared. So City now go joint top with Manchester United at the top of the Premier League, and that is an important thing as we hope we get some interviews before we're done here at Stamford Bridge this evening. But a great performance, and it's been a really enjoyable afternoon's and a Saturday tea time fare down here at the bridge. A remarkable game of football played in a remarkable spirit, a terrific spirit. And of course tomorrow, not only that, we'll have FIFA videos coming up in the next weekend or so. We're planning to put a bundle of episodes on over the weekend, so watch out for those tomorrow. So let's see if we can hear from anyone. Let's see if we can find out who we're still waiting to hear from the protagonists from this afternoon, and we're still waiting to hear. But it's Manchester City's victory, and in fact we won't be able to hear from anybody now, so I'm afraid that is it. I'm afraid we won't be able to hear from anybody. You'll be able to watch all the interviews on Match of the Day and all the action again later on tonight, but as far as we're concerned now, we're not going to get any interviews, I'm afraid. But what I will say for you guys is I hope you've very much enjoyed the offering we've brought to you here today. Manchester City are the winners, but I tell you what, Chelsea were a poor second in relation. 1-0 is a thoroughly deserved scoreline. It could have been a lot more for Manchester City in truth, but in fairness, a terrific 67th minute left foot 20-yard rasper from Belgian international Kevin De Bruyne has given Chelsea a significant blow against one of their title rivals in Chelsea. And what does that do to Chelsea's hopes of retaining the league title? Well, we'll have to find out in the remaining 7 or 8 months of the season to find out. But at the moment, City, the Manchester 2, United winning earlier 4-0 against bottom side Palace, and City responding in the grandest of manners by triumphing 1-0 over Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I'll be back with more commentary tomorrow from Goodison Park as the Clarets match returns between Everton and Burnley. Hope you can join me at 2 o'clock for that one tomorrow afternoon, because I think that's going to be a real epic down there in Merseyside. But until then, we'll keep the FIFA videos coming before then. As I say, it's going to be a bumper weekend of FIFA uploads as well, so stay tuned for them. I mean, we're in the process of loading up episodes 4, 5, 6 and 7 at the moment, so plenty of episodes to come out and hopefully plenty of goals for you guys to enjoy as well on that career mode. But as far as this broadcast is concerned, thank you very much for watching. From me, JB Johnston, and I hope you've enjoyed the commentary on what's been a remarkable game of football at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea lose at home for the second time this season. On opening day, they were embarrassed by Burnley, deservedly embarrassed. Tonight, without Morata, in all fairness to them, they lost Morata to an injury and never quite recovered. City took the ball back the horns in the second half, and Kevin De Bruyne's strike from 20 yards in the top right hand corner, a brilliant goal. Take a bow, Kev. From me, JB. Good night.